I'm a sneakerhead. I love sneakers. You should love them too. I got a bunch.
I love Nike. Like, even the people up there were great, so.
You've seen it everywhere, right? That little swoosh? On gold medalists standing on podiums, on your neighbor jogging past your house, and probably all over your social media feed. And the funny thing, it's literally just a curve. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. Yet somehow, that simple design grew into one of the most powerful symbols in sports, business, and culture. Here's the truth. Nike isn't really about sneakers. It's about a vibe, a lifestyle, and a story people feel part of, whether you're chasing Olympic medals or just trying to look sharp walking your dog. So how did this brand go from selling shoes out of the trunk of a car to becoming a global company worth hundreds of billions at its peak? This is the full story. The risks they took, the controversies they survived, the icons they created, and the strategies you can actually apply in your own hustle. The humble beginnings. Let's rewind to the 1960s. Running is starting to pick up, especially in the US, but the shoes people are wearing, honestly, they're kind of awful. Heavy, clunky, not built for performance. Athletes are grinding, but their gear isn't keeping up. This is where two men step in. Phil Knight, a young business graduate with a knack for selling and dreaming big, and Bill Bowerman, his track coach at the University of Oregon, a brilliant but eccentric guy who's always tinkering with equipment to give his runners an edge. At Stanford, Phil actually wrote a paper arguing that Japanese running shoes could undercut the German giants like Adidas and Puma. That school paper eventually became the foundation for his real business plan. Together, Knight and Bowerman launch a company in 1964 called Blue Ribbon Sports. The name doesn't exactly scream global empire. In fact, they're just a distributor for Onitsuka Tiger, selling shoes out of Phil's car at track meets. It's scrappy, small-time hustle at its finest. But Bowerman won't stop experimenting. One morning, he looks at his wife's Waffle iron and thinks, what if the sole of a shoe had this pattern? He pours rubber into it, and when it cools, out comes a lightweight, grippy sole unlike anything on the market. This quirky kitchen experiment becomes the Waffle sole, and runners can't get enough of it. By 1971, Blue Ribbon Sports needed an upgrade. They renamed the company Nike after the Greek goddess of victory. A design student, Carolyn Davidson, creates their new logo, the swoosh, for just $35. Phil's first reaction, I don't love it, but it'll grow on me. Understatement of the century. That simple mark would become one of the most recognizable logos in history. But a name and a logo alone don't build empires. Nike needed a story. Building a brand identity. From the very beginning, Nike wasn't just selling sneakers. They were selling the idea of victory. Adidas was seen as the brand for serious athletes. Puma had the style factor, but Nike wanted something more emotional. The swoosh wasn't just a design, it represented motion, speed, ambition. Their ads weren't about materials and stitching, they invited you to imagine what you could achieve in their shoes. It was a subtle shift, but it created meaning. Nike was crafting an identity that went beyond products. That identity was powerful. But to really break through, Nike needed a face, a hero who embodied everything they stood for. And in the 1980s, they found exactly that. Air Jordans and the rise of legends. Enter Michael Jordan. In the mid-1980s, Jordan was just a rookie in the NBA, coming off a spectacular college career at North Carolina. Everyone knew he was special, but no one knew he would become the face of modern basketball. Jordan's dream sponsor was Adidas, but Adidas hesitated. Converse already had stars like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Nike? They were still seen as outsiders in basketball, but they were hungry. They made Jordan a bold offer and built an entire line of shoes around him.
In 1984-85, the NBA cited Jordan's black and red Nikes for breaking uniform rules and fined him each time he wore them. Nike spun that controversy into the now legendary Banned campaign that launched Air Jordan into myth. Suddenly, every kid wanted a pair. Air Jordans became more than sneakers. They were pop culture events. Every dunk, every buzzer beater, every championship Jordan won only fueled the myth. And Nike wasn't just selling shoes, they were selling a piece of that greatness. And Jordan was only the beginning. They would do the same with Tiger Woods in golf, Serena Williams in tennis, and LeBron James in basketball. Nike didn't just sign athletes, they turned them into legends, wrapping entire careers into stories people could wear on their feet. Just do it. By the late 1980s, Nike was on the rise, but they still needed one thing: a message that spoke to everyone, not just athletes. That's when ad executive Dan Wieden heard about a man's last words before execution: "Let's do it." He tweaked it into 3 simple words that would echo across the world: just do it. It was bold, universal, and it hit everyone in a personal way. Whether you were a marathon runner or just someone trying to finally go to the gym, "Just do it" dared you to push beyond excuses. This wasn't just a slogan, it was a cultural mantra. Suddenly, Nike wasn't about shoes at all. It was about human potential. And that's why those 3 words are still remembered as one of the greatest taglines in history. The Kaepernick gamble. But Nike's boldness also meant they weren't afraid to take risks. Fast forward to 2018. Colin Kaepernick, the NFL quarterback, takes a knee during the national anthem to protest racial injustice. It sparks outrage and divides the country. Most brands run from the controversy. Nike steps directly into it. They launch a campaign with Kaepernick's face and the words, "Believe in something," even if it means sacrificing everything. The internet goes wild. People film themselves burning Nike shoes. Hashtags trend. And then the numbers come in. In the first 3 days after the ad dropped, online sales jumped 31%. The stock also hit record highs soon after. By backing Kaepernick, Nike proved that standing for something, even if it means alienating some people, can make a brand stronger. From sports to culture. At this point, Nike isn't just dominating sports, they're shaping culture itself. Think about the Air Max 1, released in 1987, designed by Tinker Hatfield. It introduced the visible air bubble in the sole, and it looked futuristic. It wasn't just a shoe, it was a status symbol. Then came the sneakerhead movement. People lined up overnight for new releases. Resale markets exploded. Collaborations with brands like Off-White, artists like Travis Scott, and streetwear giants like Supreme turned sneakers into collectibles. Shoes weren't just footwear anymore, they became cultural currency. Niketown and the retail experience. And Nike's retail stores? Forget about normal shopping. They built Niketown. Part store, part museum, part playground. You could shoot hoops, customize sneakers, and immerse yourself in the brand's story. Walking into one wasn't just about buying, it was about experiencing Nike. But as the physical world got perfected, Nike also shifted gears toward the digital one. Going digital. Nike launched the Run Club app to make running social and competitive. They introduced the Training Club app with free workouts to build loyalty. And then came the Sneakers app, turning sneaker drops into high-stakes lotteries. Securing a pair of limited Nikes online felt like winning gold. Nike wasn't just selling sneakers anymore. They were in your phone, in your daily routine, woven into your habits. Winning Gen Z. And while all this was happening, Nike had their eye on the next generation. Gen Z doesn't fall for shiny ads. They crave authenticity and inclusivity. Nike adjusted fast. Their campaign started showing athletes of every size, shape, and background. Their social media leaned into meme culture, TikTok collaborations, and viral stunts that made them feel less like ads and more like moments. This kept Nike right where it wanted to be, not just part of culture, but leading it.
Nike Women and Beyond Sports. By the 2000s and 2010s, Nike was already a powerhouse in men's sportswear. But they knew the future wasn't just about performance on the court or field. It was about lifestyle, culture, and especially women athletes. Nike doubled down on women's sportswear. Campaigns like If You Let Me Play in the late 90s had already made an impact, showing the benefits of young girls participating in sports. But in the 2000s, Nike expanded the message. Sports were for everyone, not just the pros. And leading the way was Serena Williams. She wasn't just winning tournaments, she was redefining what strength, resilience, and power looked like in women's sports. Nike positioned her as an icon, someone who inspired millions both on and off the court. At the same time, Nike blurred the line between performance and lifestyle. Their yoga lines, Nike women's training, and collabs with cultural figures helped them reach women who might never step on a basketball court, but wanted the energy and confidence that came with the swoosh. This wasn't just about selling leggings or sports bras. It was about empowerment. Nike understood that the future of their brand wasn't only tied to superstars, but to everyday people who wanted to feel like athletes in their own lives.
The future, sustainability, and then the future. Nike realized that no matter how cool your sneakers are, none of it matters if there's no planet left to run on. They launched the Move to Zero initiative, a commitment to zero carbon and zero waste. Sneakers made from recycled bottles, plant-based dyes, factory innovations to cut waste. Nike wanted to prove they weren't just building for today's athletes, but for tomorrow's world.
I'm very happy with it. It's just crazy to see your name on the sneaker.
Let's go shopping.
So here's the big picture. Nike's story stretches from a waffle iron in a kitchen to the biggest sports brand in the world. They didn't just create sneakers, they created belief. The swoosh isn't just a logo, it's a story that millions of people are proud to wear. And if you're building something of your own, here's what you can take away. Start scrappy, stand for something, tell stories instead of ads, build culture around your product, and always think about the future. Because sometimes, all it takes is 3 little words. Just do it.